I'd like to talk to you today about advanced analytics and the landscape out there of different approaches organizations are taking to leverage them. I'd like to start with this overview that Gartner provided back in 2014 of the advanced analytics landscape. It's a nice summary of the different categories and a nice framework in which to think about them. We start at the top. The first category is descriptive, what happened? And the second is diagnostic, why did it happen? In both cases, these analytic categories are focused on historical data, and generally business analyst users are using tools like reporting tools and BI tools on top of this historical data to prepare reports. They might explore the data, prepare a presentation, and then that output is used to put in front of a team or an executive or a user who makes a decision and then takes some action based on that, typically back into some business process or business system unrelated to the output of the analytics themselves. These days, though, there's some new types of analytics folks are more and more focused on down at the bottom here. We have predictive analytics, where I'm using new tools to determine what will happen in the future. And finally, prescriptive. Okay, based on that prediction, what should I do? Two new categories of analytics with huge opportunities and possibilities for companies. Within prescriptive, there's two flavors. One where the prescription is being used for decision support, and it may prescribe a set of choices to a user or an analyst. They ultimately pick one of those choices to take action on. In the second category, though, the decision automation occurs where the analytic is acted on automatically, assuming it meets a certain confidence threshold, let's say, in the model. Well, now, where are most companies today? Well, quite honestly, the vast majority of organizations are still really operating in the descriptive and diagnostic worlds, looking at historical, pretty well-structured data, typically from an enterprise system or data warehouse, and using traditional BI and reporting tools to perform their work. In the predictive area, there's lots of pilots going on right now. We see a lot of organizations doing these pilots with big data sources as an input, and when we think about the Internet of Things, that's a very common area that people are trying to apply some of these pilots. We see even fewer organizations, if any, really doing anything of substance at this point in time in the prescriptive analytics zone. Part of which because prescriptive builds on top of predictive, and you need to be there before you can really move to prescriptive. So that's all great, but here at Vitria, we're really trying to help our clients quickly move into the predictive and prescriptive areas of this landscape to get better value for their business. So what's important to think about when you want to go there? First of all, the nature of the data sources that are feeding into the raw data are growing and changing. Lots of experience at most companies with enterprise systems, as we talked about, but now there are two new major categories of sources feeding your raw data that need to be contemplated. First of all is things. We think about connected devices, we can think about machines, we can think about computers just spitting out raw data. This is where a lot of big data sources are coming from, as well as external data. Think social media feeds, weather reports, traffic, etc. Very different types of data to manage and deal with than traditional enterprise systems. So that's the first major difference. And then finally, I think it's really important for folks to think about when they go look at predictive and prescriptive analytics, what are the results that are coming from the actions? You want to use predictive and prescriptive analytics to take action faster, right? You want to take the right actions faster to drive better business results. Those results themselves, and looking all the way through to what occurred from taking the action, are in and of themselves a very important source of continuous feedback and learning that should be driven back into your predictive and prescriptive analytic models. So here at Vitria, we think it's important to, number one, understand these two ends of this analytics landscape when thinking about your situation. And number two, we think it's important that you have an analytics platform that can not only deal with all these different categories, but can let you act on the decisions that are being made and drive business results. Because ultimately, analytics are only good if they're driving better business outcomes faster.